Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are here today talking to our founder and curator, Rebecca Muñoz. Maybe you've heard of her, maybe you haven't yet, but stay tuned. You're going to have an amazing session here with her to talk more about her coaching philosophy. And yes, she is a coach and also the founder of A Cultured Society. So go to the website. We can find out more about her. And here she is today to tell you just a little bit about what she does before we get started. Hi.
Hi, how are you doing today, Jill?
I'm doing fantastic as always. And yourself?
I'm doing well, blessed and highly favored. I'm so excited to be here today with you to exchange beautiful words and energy as we talk a little bit more about this relevant work that is transforming lives day in and day out.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for being back here. And for those new time listeners, tell us a little bit about what a cultured society is before we kind of dive into, the specific work you do.
Yes, absolutely. So, Cultured Society is a lifestyle brand that I created several years ago as I was inspired through my human journey, just evolving through the experiences that I was having as I was maneuvering through all the changes and transitions that I was having on planet Earth. And as we all can attest to this, we are fueled by multicultural diversity. And I was so inspired by all of the people that I was interacting with as I was maneuvering through my human experience. And so Cultured Society came alive based on the experiences that I was having through creativity, through music, through lifestyle changes, and also through my own personal transformation. And so if you have an opportunity to visit the platforms that we have created for a Cultured Society, whether it's through the website, our Instagram page, YouTube, Facebook, you will find a gallery of creative visuals that will take you through your own personal experience of transformation. And I'm here to talk a little bit more about the work that we go into in depth with individuals.
Got it. Well, thank you for sharing that. And how do you essentially approach holistic transformation, if you don't mind? And just give us a little of your coaching philosophy behind this. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So, at the core of my coaching approach, it is the belief that in the power of holistic transformation, we are we are multidimensional human beings, and we're so complex with and interconnected aspects of our lives, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And so, my coaching philosophy is rooted in the understanding that true transformation occurs when all of these aspects are addressed and aligned. Oftentimes when you are maybe starting on a physical journey, oftentimes we're just addressing the physical aspects of our being because we want to look good. So you'll go to the gym and you'll work out, but in reality, it's getting to the root of the issues that might have occurred from an early age that got you to this point that you're at. And a lot of people are wanting to address maybe physical, like weight loss transformation, and more so getting to the root of their mental blockages. So we like to get to the root of the issues that a lot of the people that are coming to myself for this coaching transformation, and so we approach holistic transformation by working collaboratively with my clients to create a safe and supportive environment. I believe in innate wisdom and potential within each person, and my role is to guide and empower them to tap into their own resources. Because oftentimes we look for external validation or external resources when in reality we have everything that we need inside of us to get to our ultimate goal. And so I view coaching as a partnership where I provide tools, techniques, and insights while the client takes an active role in their own growth and development. Because at the end of the day, I can't do the work for you. I can definitely guide you with all the tools and techniques that I've used and that a lot of my clients have used in their own personal journey to achieve massive results. But at the end of the day, you have to do the work. So I'm just here to guide you through that.
Aw, thank you for that. And also, if you are just tuning in, we are excited to have our founder and curator from A Cultured Society joining us. If you're not sure what that's all about, continue to listen, go to the website, check her out, and let's continue the conversation. So, can you tell us some examples, and specific like techniques or strategies that you use to really help your clients move through and achieve this holistic transformation?
Yeah, absolutely. So my coaching program entails a 12-week course, which is getting to the root of where your issues or your concerns might have started before you decided to go into this holistic transformation journey. And it's interesting because in the phase that we're in with our human evolution and our consciousness, I'm finding that more and more people are starting to become more curious about holistic well being. And so, a lot of the techniques and practices that we incorporate in our time together is a lot of mindfulness and meditation practices. Teaching clients techniques to cultivate present moment awareness and
Okay.
develop a regular meditation practice to promote mental clarity and emotional well being. I've found that a lot of people that I've worked with initially have a very difficult time with meditation or don't haven't been able to develop a consistent practice. They think that they have to shut the world out completely. So I help them with some practical tools that they can incorporate to utilize everyday living as a moving meditative practice. You don't necessarily have to isolate yourself or shut yourself off from the world to incorporate those practices. It could be very practical and become a part of your day by day or daily or second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day practice. And we also offer goal setting and action planning. So, creating specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound goals. Because since we are working in such a condensed time, we tend to incorporate a lot of information that is going to be
Okay.
tools that you're going to incorporate into a sustainable way of living moving forward, even after our time together. And then we do a lot of self-reflection and journaling
Ah,
practices. A lot of what I've found also is that people that I work with, and I don't work with people just like in my physical realm because I do virtual coaching. So a lot of the people that I work with are kind of spread out throughout the nation, and I'm starting to attract some people from different parts of the world. But I mean, we are living in a very fast-paced world. So oftentimes people don't have an ability to take time for themselves to self-reflect and journal, whether it's gratitude, appreciation, intentions, and affirmations. And so I teach people how to categorize those practices and to implement them into their daily life so they start to incorporate a lot more self-awareness. And then also energy healing modalities. I do a lot of what could be Reiki, energy movement through the body, as well as sound healing. And so I do a lot of frequency music through our sessions so that people can tune into the vibration of sound as well as the vibration of their own body. And then we do I assess where people are with their education on nutrition. And so I assess where they are and I give them some practical tools that they can implement so that they can understand the importance or understand the importance of what they're consuming. Because it really, I mean, it's so important to recognize how much our daily consumption affects our overall well-being. And so, in fact, on my YouTube channel and on my website, I have incorporated some video content that gives you. I have 29 plant-based whole food recipes that I give you like a one-on-one coaching session, and I give you a lot of different ideas of brands brands, very clean brands that you can incorporate into your everyday nutrition, just different practices that you can incorporate to become very aware about what it is that you're consuming and why it's important to even understand ingredients. And then we do a lot of emotional development or emotional intelligence development, because we're not taught in our society how emotional regulation affects the relationship with our personal self, as well as the relationship with others. And so we learn a lot. I mean, there's just so many tools that we incorporate in this 12-week session. I do 1 hour sessions on a weekly basis, but then depending on the needs of my clients, we also do a lot of like voice notes, we do texting, and we even do like 15-minute calls throughout the week, depending on how much they need guidance throughout the week. So I kind of personalize it for each specific person, because again, as I said in the beginning of our call, we are such complex human beings, and every single person requires something a little different. So because I have become so intuitive within my own practice, it gives me an ability to tune into what each person needs based on where they're at in their journey.
Well, also, you've been, I mean, as a healer, as in just your innate self, I should say, you've been helping people for, quite some time. And I just hope people really can discover what it's like to work with you. I know you offer initial consultation. We're just at the halfway point where I need to remind them how they can contact you. And if they do want to reach out, would you mind
Yeah.
just sharing that? Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So through all my social media platforms, you'll find links for you to connect directly with me. But the best way for you to get directly to my coaching is through aculturedsociety.com. I have sections on this website, and what the specific section to reach out directly to me is the coaching section. And there's like a little application section where you can put in your information, and keep in mind that everything that we do together is confidential. I really like to stress the fact that the work that we do, I respect people's confidentiality. And so everything is kept very private and very confidential. And so you can, in your initial consultation with me is complimentary. And then if you decide that you want to move forward with our sessions, then we provide the information for you to do that.
Got it. Well, thank you so much. And let me ask, more about your experience and background in coaching. Do you want to share more about that? And of course, would love to hear more stories about the people who've gone through this and, the process of going through it and, how they came out ahead.
Yes, absolutely. So I have been coaching individuals through this holistic transformation process for over 5 years now. I've been on my personal transformation for over 12 years. And it's interesting because in the midst of my own personal transformation, I was having a lot of people come through me to me to get tips and advice on what it was that I was doing, because I was having significant results. And so as I continued in my transformation journey, I started to take a lot of initiative and studied in specific coaching modalities, mindfulness, and positive psychology. And I continuously engage in professional development to enhance my skills and knowledge, because this holistic practice is actually it's a never-ending evolution, and we're finding more science-based evidence on the fact that a lot of our concerns, especially as adults, come from our inner child traumas. And so I have been working diligently on studying the importance of getting to the root of our problems based on when we were children. And although a lot of the work that we do when we're working together in this present moment, I do go back to childhood regression, but I also like to really bring people into the now so that they can get to where it all started, but then they kind of not erase, but they utilize those specific experiences that they had through their childhood to bring them back to the now so that we can create a more positive experience for the future. And as far as the experiences that people have had working with me, I mean, like I said, I respect the confidentiality of my clients, and I do have some testimonials that you can see on my website, and also on my public Facebook page, you'll find that I do share a lot of my own personal story, and I have several followers that have received a lot of value from the content that I create that's free. And so you'll see a lot of personal interaction with people that are getting a lot of value from the work that I'm doing just publicly and free. But I can share that I have received positive feedback and testimonials from individuals who are experiencing a massive amount of transformation in the sense that they are experiencing a lot more self-awareness and becoming their own wellness advocates. So as they learn their bodies and become more attuned to what is going on within them, they have the ability to make adjustments to their everyday lifestyle, which they are able to make adjustments to the foods that they're consuming. And then
Mm-hmm.
also they definitely become a lot more positive with the way that they feel about themselves. Last session that we did, you and I did some
Yeah.
affirmations, and we talked about how important it was um to perceive yourself in a positive light. And the more that
Yeah.
you see yourself in a positive light, the more that you're able to make these changes on a daily basis where you're not so much dependent on outside influences to tell you what to do. I really encourage people to, again, become their own wellness advocates, because even if you're going to practitioners and doctors, oftentimes they're prescribing you medications that are oftentimes making you feel worse. And this is kind of like what happened with
Yeah.
me in my shift when when I started making these transformational changes. Is I realized that pharmaceuticals were not they were not benefiting me at all. In fact, they were making my situation
Uh,
worse, and they were prolonging my healing process. So I always teach people, like, I'm not going to tell you to get off of your medications by any means, because that's something that you have to make the decision on your own. However, I will teach you alternative methods that you can incorporate that will essentially replace that need or that dependency that you have to those drugs that you don't necessarily need.
got it. Well, thank you for that. So sad, but you're right. To keep the positive momentum going, I know you gave us tips on that as well, but it does serve a world of differences. I'm a believer in that, full believer, confirmed and affirmed. Yeah, it works for me. Well, what else,
Yeah,
Rebecca,
and
did you want to share for
we
today? Oh, go ahead.
yes, absolutely. So, one of the things that I really encourage people to do is this is an ongoing journey and evolution. So uh it's not a one-time thing where you take this course or you do this implementation for the 12 weeks and you think that you don't have to continue to do it. I always encourage people to look at this transformation journey as
Mm-hmm.
an ongoing evolution through your human journey, because I've been on this journey consistently for 12 years, and I will tell you that as I've released these 50 pounds that I've shed off my body, and my mind has been reprogrammed, and I have been able to break a lot of generational curses and help other people do the same. I will tell you that my journey at 39 years old has just began. I feel like I've come back to the core of who I am now, living a lot more authentically, and yet it gives me an opportunity to recognize how much more is available to us and how much more of a capacity I have to expand my reach. And so this is really the purpose of holistic transformation, is to help you acknowledge and recognize that your human potential is limitless, and that when you have the ability to visualize, and when you have the ability to expand your perception, you have more of an ability to see yourself as a multidimensional human being who has a massive amount of capacities. And when you view yourself as that limitless potential, you there's I mean you see the world in a completely different light, and the interactions that you have with people and the creativity that expands within you, it's just so beautiful to see the transformation that happens within the people that I'm working with, but also just whenever I go out into the world and I interact with people, it's like these light switches that are coming on consistently. And it's just such a beautiful thing to see. And so I'm so grateful to be able to do this work and to be able to share with the world that this is possible for them.
Perfect. Well, thank you for sharing that. And Rebecca, as the founder and curator of A Cultured Society, I know you help so many on a daily basis. And what is just like, I'm curious because I've gotten to know you on the work business front. Like, what about your personal life? How do you fit everything in? Do you mind sharing a little bit about your personal background too? It's been a while.
I know. So it's so interesting because as a creator and as a curator, I have given myself a lot of opportunity to explore through this human journey. I mean, I'm 39, and I remember in one of our sessions, I was telling you that my physical age is 39, but my soul age is 93, and I look like I'm 25. Well, through that experience, I've actually had an opportunity to work in many different realms. I've worked in the fashion industry, which is majority of my career path was in the fashion industry, and through the fashion industry I worked in buying, product development, sales, marketing. I did a lot of creative roles as well as a lot of human interaction, and then I had an opportunity also to work with children within personal homes. And I also had an opportunity now to work with a lot of individuals in their adult years that are doing a lot of inner child healing work. And so a lot of the work that I'm doing now that I'm integrating into Cultured Society is personal experiences that I've had throughout my journey. I am now located in the state of New Mexico, but I have lived in Illinois, Kansas, California, Arizona. Through my work and through personal journeys, I've traveled through China, through different parts of Europe, Vietnam. I've traveled, I've done mission work in Guatemala. I traveled through Ecuador, Peru, Mexico. And it's a lot of the work and a lot of the experiences that I've had, you'll see in the work that I'm doing through
Yeah.
these social media platforms, all the visuals that I've created, the lifestyle photography that I've taken, pretty much everything that you see on these platforms has been created by me. And I've been able to cultivate these experiences or these skills through just going out into the world and learning through my human experience. And I'm a firm believer that as long as you are breathing, you are a student, and you don't necessarily have to go to traditional college, although I have gone through traditional coursework. But majority of the skill sets that I've learned have been through just going out into the world and having experiences.
Now, also, I love when you say you shine the glimmer of a light on your clients and they shine right back at you. How long are you working with people to make these transformations? And do they always stick or do they need some tweaking?
They do. I actually, I just had this one client that finished out his 12-week because I work with, I'm not specific. I mean, although I have I have a specific range of people that I am targeting 25 to 55, but I'm noticing that I am going outside of that, where, like, for instance, one of my clients is in his 60s. I have another one in her 70s, in his 80s. And so it's really interesting how I'm just drawing in a lot of different types of personalities. But to give you an example, this specific client, in his 60s, finished out the 12-week coursework and felt that he needed to have a refresher on what we learned in the beginning of our program. So he decided to continue to work with me on a month by month basis. And a lot of people really just like my energy and like to have conversations with me. And so even just hearing my voice and hearing the ability that I have to continue to expand, people just want to be in my energetic field. So it's really interesting how I'm bringing in a lot of different types of interactions. And because I've adapted so much throughout my experience,
Yeah.
I'm connecting to a lot of different types of people, and I'm adapting to where they are, but also bringing them
Yeah.
up to where they need to be in order for them to continue to expand and perceive their experience in a very different light.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for shining your light on us. As always, we appreciate your time here and talking more about, how the coaching process works and how these transformations can really help improve, someone's life. And that's what we want to do, right? Let's live our best life. And how can we reach out to you if we want to work with you, Rebecca?
Yes, absolutely. It's www.aculturedsociety.com. You can go into the coaching section of my website and you can connect with me there. You can also connect with me through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I mean, my information is kind of blasted everywhere, which is a really great thing because we have the ability now to expand our reach and to be able to connect with so many different types of colorful people that are spread out throughout the world.
Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day. And to all of our listeners, please stay tuned. More of the show's coming up right after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.